Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play SimCity on Sundays. Alrighty, so where we left off, we are still trying to get the fuel to get pumped from, or shipped from Tosca Cliffs here over to the Space Center. And I had a realization while I was playing this that I wasn't shipping any fuel to any trade ports, and ultimately I realized that that's the one key thing that I was missing, is the fact that with my other two cities, the one that's shipping the alloy and the other one that's shipping the computers, that both of those have trade ports with the resource going through there. And typically I trade them for money and stuff, but in this case, I don't have one set up for fuel. I have the trade ports with all the oil coming in to make the fuel in the first place, but I don't have the fuel with any trade port storage for the fuel to get shipped out. And apparently everything has to go through a trade port coming in or out of a city. So that's a little realization I had with playing this part here. So now you can see I have this set up to do the fuel. I probably could have done all four of them, but I decided to be conservative because I want to make sure I have enough oil coming in to fuel the Omega factories, as the Omega co-factories, as well as making sure I have enough for creating the fuel in the first place. So, a delicate balance there. But we now have fuel going through the trade port, and later on in the episode you'll see that we're actually finally delivering fuel to the Space Center. And that will be that. The phase 1 of the Space Center should be then complete, hopefully in a couple of weeks. We'll see. And I say weeks only because these episodes that you're seeing here, this 21-minute episode, it actually represents about an hour's worth of gameplay, and that's about as much gameplay as I get on this particular game every week. I only do about an hour per game. Actually less with World of Warcraft. For those of you who watch my World of Warcraft episodes, most of those are somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. And I don't really edit a lot of those. I mean, if there's a lot of running back through places, or if I get lost or something, I'll edit that part out. But generally, I really don't do much editing on those at all. Those are pretty much straight run-throughs, as is. So I don't even get like 4 hours worth of gaming in a week. It's an hour for SimCity, about an hour for The Sims 3, and maybe, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes for Ion and for World of Warcraft. With Ion, I do a little bit more editing, but not that much. So, anyway, here you can see I am putting in some more water pumping stations. And mainly because you can see where the existing one is, it's the water table went from dark blue to almost white, so we're almost out of water there. And I may or may not end up being able to just get rid of that water pumping station entirely at some point in the future, since I now built the new one on top of the water table. So we'll see how that works. It's too bad that they don't have a way of hooking up the water straight to the river and just filtering the water from the river. That would make sense to me, to do it that way. Because that way we'd have pretty much unlimited supply of water. But nope, you gotta suck it up out of the ground. Alright, so we've got the water taken care of for the time being. I still have a water pollution issue, but I decided not to address that. Instead here you can see that I am expanding the Maglev station. I'm adding more Maglev stations, and I'm going to be adding more Maglev rail so that more people in town can use the Maglev to get to and from work. So we're just kind of just expanding the system a little bit. And The rail itself is interesting just because of, you know, like here it doesn't want to let me do it because of the angle. Even though the road's just fine, so I don't know why the Maglev rail wasn't going to work as well, but be that as it may. Yeah, I'm just like, screw it, there's not going to be a station there. Now I'm just going to figure out like the best way to get the rail up here and things. And I've noticed with the Maglev, since it can go, it doesn't have to necessarily follow a road. It can go pretty much anywhere you want it to. You know, provided that the angle isn't too steep. So you kind of just play around with it to try and get it to where you want it to go. And sometimes you have to build it section by section in order to kind of get what, you know, kind of get what you want out of it and stuff. And sometimes they're angling it over houses and things. And I was seeing if there was a way of connecting it to the Mega Tower, but there isn't, so never mind. You'd think you could have a Maglev go right through the Mega Tower, like you could have like a Maglev station level, like as your first level or something like that, but they don't have that. I think it would be cool, but be that as it may. I kind of like this Maglev system. It's kind of neat looking. Oh, and that wasn't the Maglev, that was the sky bridge between the two towers. There we go. So now we're just running. There we go. Now we've got it all connected in a nice loop over there. Okay, more wealthy workers. Yes. Well, we're working on that. That's one of the things we're working on. Alright, so now adding another level to this mega tower. And I decided to put a park level on that one. So, but things are coming along, you know, much better now. I'm pretty happy with how the progress of the 3 cities is going. And the good news is I finally got a hold of the person who is currently controlling the 4th city in this part of the region. And it turns out the reason why he hasn't been back to play is he decided to replace Windows with Linux on his computer. And so he couldn't get into SimCity to abandon the game and stuff. But he, just for me, he went and dual booted and reinstalled Windows on his computer just so he could install SimCity so that he could abandon it. So hopefully in the next week or so, that'll be taken care of. Alrighty, so now over here, this is the city that's supplying alloy to the Space Center, and found out that I stopped shipping alloy because I don't have an alloy, or I'm missing a division for the metals headquarters, basically, the smelting division. So, and there's no room to build it where it is right now, so I'm gonna have to tear it down. And move it, basically. So I'm gonna rebuild the metal headquarters there, along with, and I'm gonna have to get rid of the cop shop that's over there, and I'm building it over here instead. So adding all my drones and my cars and everything, and then I can get rid of the police station over where the metals headquarters is, so that I have room to build some more metal divisions, including the smelting division. That's going to be necessary so that we can keep smelting. Alright, and have Max's man go out and fight some crime. Okay, so bulldoze that cop shop there. And here come all of our divisions, our metals divisions. Alright. So with that in mind, now we should be able to, yeah, it's still closed. It's, there we go, producing alloy and metal. Yes. Alright, so now that we're producing alloy and we have alloy storage at the trade port, we should be able to deliver alloy to the Space Center. So now we have all three cities delivering, producing and delivering the resources needed for the Space Center. So that's one thing finally accomplished. And here I decided to build another smaller space station, another smaller police station over here. I figure over by the stadium. I was going to say Performing Arts Center, but it's a stadium. It'll discourage crime in that region. That's probably a good thing. Don't want to have crime where you're bringing tourists in. This is going to have a Legends of Rock show this evening. I didn't even schedule it. It's just happening on its own. And the nice thing is it starts at 8 o'clock, and one of the things I kind of keep an eye on is it doesn't make a profit or not. And it actually does, which is kind of cool. You can see so many people coming in. And yep, see, there it goes. It's making a profit. So that's one way to make a profit in your city. I mean, it's not enough, but it's one way to bring income into your city and reduce how much you're spending. In fact, you could see the per hour money just kind of went down there a little bit. So it's offsetting that a little bit. Alright, so the Maglev factory is working and delivering stuff to industry. So, yeah, so things are going along smoothly in this town. We don't have as many skyscrapers in this town yet. The other two cities have more skyscrapers, but that will change over time. But yep, now we've got stuff being delivered. This is a good thing. So we'll take a look at Giovanni Woods. And, yeah, again, you're complaining about the annex. So it's like, okay, I gotta find a way to put the final annex in place. I gotta figure out, okay, where do I want to build it? And here I'm getting a skyscraper being built. And I'm kind of reluctant to tear down anything over there because I don't want to tear down the skyscrapers because they obviously have higher density population-wise, and I want to keep the population where it is. I mean, it's at 67,000 right now, which is really nice. And it's just increasing over time. So I just need to find a different place to put it. And ultimately, here you can see I'm getting rid of this. I was just getting rid of it was like a townhouse or apartment complex and the worship center and some of the roads. And I'm going to put the annex there, although I do want an extra little road through here first. And I also have learned to dezone before I tear down buildings and stuff. Otherwise, those industrious little Sims start building. As soon as I tear something down, they start building right on top of where I just tore things down at. So I was trying to see if I could put the worship center back, but I can't, and all of the other worship things are the same footprint, so I'm like, screw it, never mind. Get rid of these two houses, and we're going to switch the zone to commercial. So we can have some shopping there instead. So now we've maxed out the academy. So we should also have better control net going on. Now we're also going to add some more apartments over there in the mega tower. And here I'm kind of counting how many levels I'm going to need until I can build a sky bridge to the new mega tower as well. So that's gonna be cool. I love the way the city is starting to look with these skyscrapers, especially these futuristic skyscrapers with all the greenery and stuff on them. I think they look beautiful. It just makes the city look really cool. And I love these futuristic streets and stuff too. I think they look really cool. And you can kind of see where the futurization kind of ends, and the streets go from the more futuristic looking to more normal looking. And over here, the density isn't big enough to build skyscrapers, but I got rid of a kind of a low wealth park and replaced it with a high wealth park, just to kind of increase the overall wealth over here. Because the one thing we want or need is more high wealth citizens. Apparently, that's for the academy and everything else. Here, I'm trying to see if I can't add a new Maglev station in between all of this maglev track, but it won't let me. I'm gonna have to tear the track down, put the station in, and then reconnect everything, and I just decided not to do that today. But doesn't it look pretty? I just think that all these buildings just look really pretty. Maybe it's because I grew up in a big city, so that might be one reason why. I think nice looking big cities with beautiful architecture, I think, can be very gorgeous. And here I'm trying to find a place to put a new worship center. Citizens are asking about it, but there's no room. That's not wide enough. So, and look at that. We've got 19,000 crates of computers being delivered now. That's good. We're almost halfway there. And here I'm kind of watching this little delivery truck coming to the airport, or airport space center. And it kind of goes in, it goes out, it leaves, and I'm like, where is it going? Is it going to leave the region entirely? Nope, it just loops around. So it kind of went to the Space Center and is going back now, but it doesn't do anything. It didn't actually increase the number of computers that were delivered. And that little sparkly effect that you just saw just meant that we just increased our futurization in the city. I think it's because the one mega tower level was completed. And one of the things I'm going to change in here in the city center is I've got all these residential buildings in here, and it really doesn't make sense for this for people to be living in here. So I'm kind of tearing down, and I just zone for commercial on one road, and eventually I'll get rid of the rest too. It's just one thing at a time. I don't want to overdo it, but you know, this city center should really be a city center with commercial and not with residential in it. All right, so here I'm going to futurize these garbage incinerators, and I'm going to replace them with the futuristic ones. Here we go. All right, I think that looks a lot nicer, and adding some more capacity. So trying to, like, anything where I can add futuristic expansions, I'm slowly but surely doing that. Now I know I got a note that the electronics industry kind of wants a headquarters, and here I'm trying to find a place where I can maybe plop the headquarters, but you know, I've just got everything built so densely, it's kind of hard to find a place to put things. Like, there's all this residential over here that I could get rid of, but and the only reason I put residential over there in the first place is because people were clamoring, we need more workers, we need more people. I think eventually I'm going to replace that with more industrial over there as well. There's a number of places in here where there's like empty space in the middle that nothing is built in, but I can't really put roads in there because the size of the footprints of everything else is kind of big. So I kind of wish you could plop parks without plopping it by a road, and maybe just, you know, putting in a footpath or something to it. You can put footpaths with the at the university, but you can't put footpaths other places, and I think that's kind of a downside over here. But here I'm kind of reorganizing this region so that I can put in the electronics headquarters. Apparently that's going to help with the with that whole industry. I just need to kind of reconfigure the roads and that kind of thing. I'm sure all these people living in this part of town are probably not all that happy living here anyway. I mean, some of these are like facing, you know, the water plants and sanitation plants and everything else. So, I don't know, if I were them, I wouldn't be too happy living there either. So, all right, so I'm putting the road in over here, and hopefully we can put in headquarters. Yes, one headquarters. And then we'll expand it. We have commerce. We have electronics. I think I want the, there we go. We have room for the commerce division, which is good because that's basically the main thing we want to do is we want to sell the electronics anyway. So that, as they say, is that. I thought maybe I have room for a temple over here, but nope, that's not going to happen. And then I want to try and expand the community college, but I ultimately ended up not doing that. I think in the future I might need to just tear down some of the residential over here and move it over and make room for it. But ultimately, what I ended up just doing in this play was just to put a park in there, because there's room for this extension building. It's just not letting me plunk it down. You can see that there's room for it, but it's just for some reason there's no snap point, and therefore it's not letting me put it down. So for now, I'm just kind of clearing this area out. And I think I try and put the worship center in here too, and that doesn't work either, so I'm like, screw it. And I just put a park in temporarily, and then the next time around, I think I'll reconfigure this so that I can expand the community college, because we want to keep the education going. Yep, there we go. Well, I think that's just going to about wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this episode, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it if you think it's worthy of sharing. And if you haven't yet, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. This SimCity series will be posted, a new one every Sunday. And until next week, I will say take care. Bye-bye.